Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to race number 4 in the chase of the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. And the chase for that Bob Earl Racing seat heats up as we're where it all can change. Anything can happen in the moment of an eye. One split reaction or one wrong move can be the cost of victory or destruction or even despair. Welcome to Talladega. This is the Talladega Super Speedway in Estaboga, Alabama, or Talladega, Alabama, and this is ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network coverage of Race 4 in the chase. I'm Wesley Outland. Joining me as always from Alabama is Michael Keaton. Michael, we're at your home track, buddy.
Yeah, good to be here, Wes, and also working tonight with us, Dakota Ehrman, Matt Close, and Joshua Harbinson. All the gangs here tonight for this exciting Talladega race. Talladega is always that race that anyone can win and or anyone can wreck. So, but let's talk about last week, Wesley. Wow, what a race at Dover! But before we say who won that race, we got a little video clip from last week and the results that we'll share with you after the race. So, watch this video. Spots are starting to heat up as they race here with 8 to go this time by. What's the latest on pit road?
On pit road, both the 1 and 2, they're going all the way. They don't have to stop again. You're watching the battle all the way to the end.
Awesome news, Wes.
With lap cars in front of him, but meanwhile, Landon Huffman in the RTC Racing Design Chevrolet under attack from R.J. Williams in the ETV Live Chevrolet. These two drivers duke it out. 6 to go. They're in turn 1.
Landon Huffman still hanging on to the lead. 4 cars ahead, laps down. Traffic may be a factor here in the closing laps. This time by 6 to go, Wes. Things are starting to heat up with the 21 machine as it gives him a bump in 4.
This time by, they'll come to 6 to go. As again, your leader, Huffman, Williams, they continue to battle. Doug Roth, the lap machine, in the retro colors of Richard Petty, is in front of them. He'll pull out of the way to the outside lane. Boys, have at it. I love the respect these lap cars are giving him. Williams to the inside for the lead in turn 4. It's magical here at the Monster Mile.
He looked, but there wasn't just quite enough pavement to get the car on to West as they come down the front stretch, nearly a half a car length in separation into 1. Landon Huffman still race leader in 2. 21 machine of R.J. Williams down the backstretch.
An open hand shot from the flagman just a moment ago as well. 5 laps to go, 5 remaining. Lynn Steele. I really believe Williams is going to have to rough up Huffman, the bump and run, to try to get this victory. He passed Cole Fairley, but did he use up the Goodyear rubber? Now he's going to go to the outside lane to try to make a move on Huffman for the lead in turn 2 with 4 to go.
The magical number 4 underneath coming out of 2. Williams may have the spot. 75's up high in 3.
Not backing down there. Door to door in turn 3. Door to door in turn 4. He'll get the jump. Williams goes to the lead with 3 to go at Dover as they go into turn 1. Can he pull the upset as they come to the line?
Huffman tried everything, but the crossover did not work. The 21 machine in the lead in 2. Coming down the backstretch, T and West in 3. 75 separated by 4 car lengths.
The jinx might have been put on Huffman. He might have counted his chickens before they hatched. He vowed he'd win at Dover. R.J. Williams spoiling the plans, and he's even opening up the interval. Less than 2 laps to go. The leader's half a second over Huffman in 1.
R.J. Williams doing the unthinkable here tonight. So far, leading the race now with just a couple laps here to go, Wes. This time by the white flag.
1 more lap to go. R.J. Williams Williams in the ETV Live radio number 21 made the bump and run. It was caution free, but what a way to set it for the end. Even better than the real deal yesterday. They'll come down the back straightaway into turn number 3. No fuel strategy, no race caution, good racing, mano a mano. To the victor goes the spoils. It's still going to be Huffman leading the points, but Williams pulls the upset. He'll win at Dover. Williams goes 1. Huffman loses and finishes in 2nd. Finally, somebody pulls an upset on the 75.
What a trigger to be pulled here at Dover tonight. Wow, Wes, with just moments and laps to go, R.J. Williams does the unthinkable. Green flag all the way through, completely 160 laps. Man, awesome race by the number 21 machine and the 75 car of Landon Huffman.
Williams goes 1, Landon Huffman 2, Chad Cole 3, Guy Snyder the 4th, and John Abbott the top 5. The bottom 5 of 10, Michael Keaton.
RC rated in that Lime Dream Chevrolet picking up 6th place tonight's event. Steve Ritter 7th. Adam Roberts picking up a good satisfying 8. John Hanna Jr., who started on the pole in tonight's events, started and finished 9th. White Wolf Jr. finishing your top 10.
And R.J. Williams is lighting them up on the front straightaway. He's going crazy. He's doing the burnouts, the donuts. He's excited. He wins at Dover in a non-caution fiesta that turned out to be a soiree over Landon Huffman. We'll have the post-race show right after this. From Dover International Speedway, you're tuned in to the ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network as R.J. Williams in the ETV Live Radio Chevrolet. Thought it was really going to be a snooze fest. It went caution free, some exciting racing, and then when it was all said and done, the bump and run to get the victory on Landon Huffman as again R.J. Williams in the ETV Live radio car went to victory lane.
Yeah, R.J. Williams did a fabulous job getting that Chevrolet up front, working through the likes of Chad Cole, who's 2nd points, Landon Huffman, who's leading the points right now. So hats off to R.J. Williams getting that car to victory lane at Dover International Speedway. No cautions, and he led one of the most important laps of the series, and that was the last one, Wesley. So congratulations again to R.J. Williams. Now let's talk about the top 12 in points, Wes. It's starting to shake up in tonight's race. You know that it could be anyone back on top here in the number 1 position in points at Talladega.
Yeah, you're exactly right. As I said, anything can happen when we come to Talladega, and right now Landon Huffman has got that 29-point lead over Chad Cole. Let's see, Landon Huffman has 21.55. He's at the lead. Chad Cole has 21.26, 29 points back. Gary Snyder the 4th. He's really impressed me. Only 50 points back. John Abbott's 4th at 51. R.J. Williams is 5th at 54. Joseph Hayes is 6th at 56 points. And in my opinion, right now, the top 6 cars, the dirty half dozen, they're all that's left for the championship. Guys like 7th place Jay Horton, Adam Roberts, Eric Arnold, Chad Schillen, David Lanza, and Doug Roth, they're out of the running for the championship, I believe.
Well, Talladega being that track where Landon, Guy, Chad, John, those 4 guys that's out front by about 50 points on the guys in the tail end of the points lead here. If all those guys wreck out, then you're looking at, 30, 40 positions, which is 30, 40 points. And if Jay, Joseph, RJ, again, Eric, Chad, David, and Rolf all finish in the top 5, top 6, then you're looking at a big swap in a turn of events. So, Wes, I really don't know. I think Talladega is going to be the tail of the tall tale sign here of who is actually going to be in the running for the last couple of races here as we go into Talladega today.
Yeah, I could agree with you anymore. We've also got an all-star group of 3 pit reporters on pit lane because this track is just so darn big to cover all the action for us. Let's go to our pit reporters, and first to Matt Close. Matt, what's your thoughts of Talladega as we get ready for race chase 4?
Well, I don't think there's going to be much different of a strategy here. It looks like 88 laps, definitely going to have to make 2 pit stops. Come down here. They'll need tires for the left sides eventually, but definitely going to put 2 on there when they come down and get gas. You got time to do that, but other than this, I think we're not going to see much before the scheduled pit stops around laps 40, 42.
And let's go down to our another group of pit roads. On the midsection of pit lane, covering the action for us, Dakota Ehrman. Dakota, what do you got for us? Dakota, are you there? Okay, all right. Well, let's go to the other front side of pit road. I believe Dakota is chatting with one of the crew chiefs, getting words from teams on what's going on with race trim. But let's go to the front end of pit road. Joshua Harbinson is with us as always. Joshua, welcome again to Talladega, buddy.
Oh yeah, I love being here. It's an awesome track to be here to watch. And yeah, from what I get from most drivers, it's you know, the idea here most times is to hang back, let the big wreck happen, and just try and get out of it. I'm hearing some of them, they want to be up front to avoid it. So, and most of them say here, you got to keep your car clean, and you got to have good pit stops. So that's what a lot of I've talked to is, that's what they told me.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. By the way, I want to remind you to tune in to you know, Sean Peachin and the rest of his crew every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on the Open Paddock. Everything with the talk of open wheel cars, the IZOD IndyCar Series, the Mazda Road to Indy, and of course a much more. So check that out as you are continuing along with all the excitement of our pre-race show here on ETV Live every Tuesday night, 8:30, the Open Paddock with Sean Peachin and friends here on www.etv-eplay.net, also on the HD Radio Network, and on Tuned In Radio, iTunes Radio, and Windows Media Guide. And I'll tell you what, if there's any inclination to what excitement we're going to see here at Talladega, anything can happen at Talladega, Michael Keaton, and 9 times out of 10 it just about does.
And it can happen at any moment too, Wes. I've seen guys wreck within the first couple of laps just trying to jockey for their partner, if you will. Sometimes your partner can be 2 guys ahead of you, and you're trying to let somebody in, and somebody else doesn't want that guy in, and it always can result into chaos early on, midways, and of course at the very end with just the remaining laps left. And just for all the fans out there watching right now, there's quite a few of you. If you look underneath the window of what you see live there, you'll see click here for interactive chat room and live stats. Click here, sign in. You don't need a password to sign in. Come in, chat with us, ask us questions. We'll try to get you some information, and we might play a game or two. So come on in and chat with us. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, definitely. Don't be afraid of that whatsoever. If you got any questions for any of these guys, we'll bring it in there. Post-race show, we'll be able to have you be able to talk to the drivers of these cars and whatnot. And, you know, well, obviously you can't talk to the drivers, but we'll be able to pass the questions along that you, the fans, have for the drivers. And we definitely enjoy that interaction. And, again, all you got to simply do is go to the official homepage, etv-eplay.net. Click on that box down at the bottom where the video is, and then it opens up a little blog where you can put in your name. It's absolutely free. Communicate with all these great guys around the racetrack. And the race for the Barbaro race seat continues. Valued at over $350, you can experience the real excitement of what it's like to race in this simulation racing seat. And it looks like right now, again, Michael Keaton, the way that things roll along, it looks like Landon Huffman's going to get another one.
Yeah, I tell you, Landon's always tough, but one thing you got to keep in mind, this is a fixed setup series, so these guys are real close. And right now, I'm looking at the qualifying round here, and Nathan Little sitting on the pole right now with an 0.21, and I'm looking for Landon. He's 11th fastest right now. So, of course, we'll get to the official race grid here in a little bit, but. Just for those listening and paying attention to Landon Huffman, he's 11th right now, fastest on the track.
Definitely, no doubt about that. And, of course, we get closer and closer to race time. And, man, the excitement's really building here at Talladega as we get ready for race number 4 in the chase. A lot of unknowns, a lot of things can happen. We're getting ready to light the fuse on this thing right now. And don't forget, next week, next Monday night, we're going to my favorite track on the circuit in my home state, where I'll be going to this weekend, as a matter of fact, Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Bank of America 500 weekend for the NASCAR boys. Maybe the race will be exciting, but of course I'll be joining you on Monday night at Charlotte Motor Speedway at the Mecca of Motorsports for race number 5 in the chase. And it'll be hard to believe, Michael Keaton, with that race, we'll be halfway through the chase in 2012 for the Bob Earl Racing seat.
Yeah, and I tell you, these guys are really, really looking forward to winning this championship because of what they're winning and the value behind of what they're winning with that racing seat. And I tell you, Bob Earl really knows what he's doing with that thing. And, you know, he's a championship driver. And, you know, the design on that thing is really neat. And these guys are really, really looking forward to winning that thing. And, you know, I might go to BobEarlRacing.com and get one myself, Wes.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. It looks like right now in qualifying, as we're watching RC Rigdon on the track, or at least I am on my monitor, it is closed qualifying, so you can't see it. Nathan Little looks to be the fast man at 51.021 seconds. You're looking at about an 80-minute race, an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes, if these guys can go caution-free, but I seriously doubt that.
Well, you never know, Wes. The Talladega and Daytona, these tracks, these big-size tracks, are you can start the race, go green for 40 laps, and then as they come down the pit, which we'll get with Josh and Dakota on in a little bit about pit road entry and speed and all that. But now, Wes, we're going to send it down to the midfield trackside with the Cactus Cuties with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, so I believe the command is now being given to fire the engines, and we are now ready to go here with 88 laps around Talladega Super Speedway. It is race time, as it looks like 37 Warlords in the kaleidoscope of different colors are ready to go to it. Let's give you the starting lineup. Front row, car number 97 on the inside, Nathan Little to his outside. Last car that took time, he makes it in 3/1000ths of a second off a little. RC Rigdon in the 19. Row 2.
Steve Ritter going to start him in that number 3rd position. Outside him in the deuce, Ronnie Potts.
Row number 3, Guy Snyder, the 4th in the Gulf Oil Chevrolet Impala. And then it's the Navy Nuke, the man in the 47 of Eric Arnold. He'll start 6th.
Starting 7th, last week's winner at Dover, R.J. Williams in the number 21 machine. Outside him in that DeWalt Ford, the 17 of Chad Cole.
Chris Schallenberger in the 35 will make up inside row number 9. And Randall Watkins in the number 3 will start 10th.
Starting 11th in the Silver Bullet, as Wes calls him, Dwayne Vincent. Outside him in the 45 Chevrolet, Kyle Dresbach.
Row number 7, John Hanna Jr. in the number 6, and Jay Horton in the 83. He'll start 14th, top 7. That'll be row number 7.
And bump from 11th fastest to 15th fastest. Your points leader, Landon Huffman, number 75. Outside him, the 33 of David Lanza.
Rhinestone Cowboy, Glenn Campbell of the number 44 Penske Chevrolet will start 17th inside row number 9 and starting 18th, the number 4 of CJ Laver.
In the next row behind them, rolling off 19th at Talladega in the number 10 Chevrolet of John Abbott. Outside him, the colorful 66 black and pink of Michael Gray.
That's your top 20. Row number 11 now, starting in 21st, the 43 of Doug Roth in the retro STP colors. Behind the Ford Mustang pace car, and starting 22nd, the number 12, that's Douglas Wyatt.
Starting 23rd in the number 98 machine, Stephen Herring. Outside him in the number 8, Scott Brotherton.
And going on to row number 13, the 7 of Timmy Logwood into his outside, the number 88, that's Adam Roberts.
Next row in the 27th position, 25-24 car, James Hertz. Outside him with a little bit of a break last week at Dover in the 85 machine of Nathan Bowers.
Row number 15, Keith Brooks Jr. in the 71 into his outside, starting 30th, number 82, that's John Wynn.
Not failing to qualify in the number 31 spot of the 91 machine, Steve Gottschalk. Outside him, 32 of Rich Jett.
Then it's going to be the drivers that did not take time. Wyatt Wolf Jr. in the 63, he'll start 33rd. Joseph Hayes in the 10 will start 34th and take us the rest of the field.
Jose Gonzalez rolling off 35th, 36th, Patrick Hahe, and to do it from the back, the number 61 machine, Wyatt Wolf in the number 37 spot, Wes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the moment that we've all been waiting for, the preparation. The moment, the anticipation. As I said in the introduction, anything can happen. It can and it will. As the pace car Ford Mustang leads the field of 37 Warlords down the main straightaway in front of a capacity crowd here in the Good Sam RV Roadside Assistance, 88 laps. The pace car gets ready to drop on to pit road. He scampers from the field. It's going to be an all front row of Chevrolet and Chevrolet. As again, Nathan Little and R.C. Rigdon bring the field through the tri-oval. Flag stands, jumps offside of pit road, through the gearboxes. We're underway in race number 4 of the chase. And we've already got a little bunt drafting, helping one another. R.C. Rigdon under attack on the outside lane. As here comes Nathan Little with Steve Ritter. They'll battle wingman into turn 1.
There's already a separation between a first pack and second pack. The first pack being led by Nathan Little. The second pack all the way back into 16th position, leading by David Lanza. So 2 packs on the backstretch as they go down into 3. Nathan Little and Steve Ritter leading this thing in 3.
Well, they'll stick it out 2 wide, maybe 3 wide. Chad Cole now follows up under Guy Snyder, the 4th. He'll pull to his inside. Nobody jumps out of the group yet. Now Cole jumps to the middle lane. He'll carry Cole with him. It's Snyder and Cole trying to run down other machines of 1 and 2. Little and Rigdon as they exit off turn 4.
And who will win? Who will lead the first lap here at Talladega tonight? Nathan Little in the number 97 Power Progress Cole Chevrolet leading them into 1.
Top 4 cars, keep them all sliced and diced. It's less than 2 rows deep, less than half a car length. Chad Cole's got the machine. Guy Snyder up on his deck lid. They're trying to rally on the outside lane. Meanwhile, over to the pack to the bottom. Nobody jumping out of the... He goes below the yellow line. Problem on Nathan Little's car. Little gets below the yellow line. He's losing several positions on the turn 3.
Trying to see if there's any word on an engine malfunction. No, Nathan Little's under power. Not real sure why he went underneath the yellow line, Wes, but nonetheless he did, and new race leader now.
He says, and I quote, he's just going to the back to be safe. Our producer, Dakota Ehrman, is just telling us he's going to the back of the race to be safe, just saving his time. Long way to go, and now the Gulf Oil 20s of Guy Snyder, the 4th, takes the lead, but Chad Cole's slicing and dicing, reeling him in on the back chute.
Yeah, Chad Cole and Guy Snyder really hooked up well in number 1 and number 2 position, but look who's in the number 3 position. Last week's winner at Dover, R.J. Williams, being pushed for all he's worth by the number 3 machine of J. Randall Watkins out of 4, looking for a run.
Nobody breaking out of line. Chad Cole slicing and dicing all he can as they come to the line one more time. This time by lap 3 on the board as they flash under the flag stand. Now they're work lap 4. 3 wide for the lead. Here comes R.J. Williams, winner at Dover last week. He's trying to double down like Landon Huffman did in the first 2 races of the year. And of course, Chicagoland and New Hampshire, he leads them off the backstretch.
Absolutely, J. Randall Watkins getting the work done behind R.J. Williams, but Wes, these cars can't push for too long. And Josh, I want to throw it down to you for this question. About how many degrees does it take for these cars to blow up? We know here at Talladega and Daytona, these tracks are treacherous on these oil and water temps.
Oh, probably between the 250 to 300 range. They're going to try and keep them cool, but, you know, it starts flashing around 280 to 300, so they'll have to watch it from there.
And Wes, that's when it gets dangerously close, when both of these temps start flashing. They actually have the gauges in there, and they'll flash red. You got your water temp, your oil temp that you got to keep an eye on, plus trying to go 205 miles an hour in these cars, nose to tail, is real difficult.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They were getting sliced and diced for the 5th spot. I'm sorry I stepped away for just a moment. But yes, attack for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Jay Horton, Steve Ritter, they're all in that mix. R.C. Rigdon now falls back to 11th. He's got the Navy Nuke of the 47 of Arnold behind his back door lid. They're 3 wide in the turn. That's Randall Watkins as they come to the stripe back in turn 1.
Got a second group, Highline working up there with the silver bullet of Dwayne Vincent, leading the charge with the 75 of Landon Huffman. That's your race championship points leader as it stands. He's working the high side, trying to look for a little bit of elbow room between the 21 of R.J. Williams.
And that battle continues as they go back into turn number 3. Williams holds his line. He's got Watkins to his outside. They'll battle. Then he got Vincent. Vincent's going to carry Landon Huffman, the points leader, with him. Nobody breaking out of line for the moment. Meanwhile, to the bottom, the inside's working, and the ETV Live Radio 21 now coming to the stripe. He led 1 lap. Now Chad Cole in the 17 DeWalt. Talk about coincidence. Matt Kenseth won the real deal yesterday. Can the DeWalt 17 and Chad Cole win in the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series? He leads off 2.
Well, if Guy Snyder's his teammate to the end, he's got a good one. Guy Snyder really knows how to work his car around this super speedway. Last season, he won it. So here at Talladega. So Guy Snyder, or the last race here at Talladega, I think it was the 11th race of the season.
Oh, he got slipped out of the draft. He lost the draft. Michael Keaton, the number 13, just like that, falls all the way back to, what, the top 12? The top 13, maybe? 13, Dwayne Vincent with a problem on that car. He loses the ground from the pack when they cross the scoring pylon all the way to 15th. 10 spots in one corner. That's how you can be left hung out to dry. Now he'll drop to the inside lane and hook up with Michael Gray in B5, a Kel Drasback out of turn 2.
Again, back up front. Now we see R.C. Rigdon in the number 19 spot and 5th spot. Excuse me, 19 car, 5th spot. He's going 3 wide now. So a lot of these cars charging up to the front and just going back, Wes.
Patience, patience, patience is a virtue as they make their way down the back straightaway. I want to remind you as well, tune into the Friday Night Showdown every Friday night at 8 o'clock as we can recap of all of the exciting racing of the week before that at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Pit Report. Join J.D. Webb, Dakota Ehrman, and the rest of the All-Star ETV Live broadcast crew when available for a look at the recap of racing going on throughout the week. That's the Pit Report, 7 o'clock Eastern. And then, of course, Friday Night Showdown featuring those nationwide simulations presented by Gary Mercer Trucking. on ETV Live. And we go back into turn number 1 and 2, or sorry, 3 and 4. The battle heats up for the top spot. Well, actually, it's pretty quiet. It's just hot and heavy. Nobody really makes a move except maybe the Navy Nuke. Eric Arnold, he's found a new reprieve. He'll take RC Riggin with him, and they'll battle call for the lead through the trial of the Talladega going to turn 1.
And that's just a byproduct of Guy Snyder pushing Chad Cole a little too long. Wes, he's having to stay off of his back bumper to keep the gauges down, and that allowed Eric Navy Nuke Arnold to take the lead. And Justin Rose, now we coming up to you now, the 19 of the lime green machine of RC Rigdon, pushing Eric Arnold to the front. What do you think about it?
You know, certainly exciting action early on here with the A car here at Talladega. One thing, you know, that you guys alluded to is they got to watch the temps on these cars. One other gauge that you want to watch, you know, from my racing experience earlier on this week, you also want to watch that oil temperature too, because that thing will creep right on up there if we have a big, long green flag run.
And that's what these guys are wanting, Justin and Josh, is a long green flag run. Is now we see Landon Huffman looking on the inside of the number 19 of RC Rigdon. He wants a little bit of the lead. He's got the points lead, but he wants this race. Josh, Landon Huffman to the lead on the bottom side. Eric Arnold on the high side.
Yeah, we'll see if Chad Cole actually up with him or work with him. He's got Guy Snyder, so I don't know if he's going to try to give up Guy to work with Landon Huffman, but we'll see if they just attach to him and try and make up that ground they've lost so far.
Justin, it looks like Landon Huffman actually slid back a little bit and got teamed back up with Chad Cole. So now Eric Arnold's still the race leader. John Hanna's up there. Oh, we almost had a little bit of a shake-up with Landon Huffman in the 6 of John Hanna Jr. as they come down the tri-oval.
Certainly one to look for. John Hanna Jr., no stranger to super speedway racing, won several races with some leagues that I used to race in a long time ago. John Hanna Jr., new to the A car here at Real Sim Racing, but he is no stranger to racing here at Talladega, so look for him by the end of this one. Big trouble.
Eric Arnold, the Navy Nuke, desperately needing some sort of a miracle to get back his championship team in the mix, as we got the number 4 machine. Who's that? That's CJ LaVere on the outside. 3 wide, Josh, as they come off for the lead. Man, they're 3 wide, about 3 rows deep here for second, third, fourth, and fifth, all the way back. Michael Gray was in the middle of that. He's trying to get back to the bottom line. He's in 6th or 5th. Landon Huffman not going to give him any room as Landon Huffman slides underneath Michael Gray in that 66 Vocaloid machine.
Time running out now. CJ LaVere goes to the top spot. Hanna 2nd, Arnold 3rd, Rigdon and Huffman the top 5. Now Cole drops to the inside of John Milwang. Milwang pushed to the top of the racetrack. He's under attack. Now he'll find a weak man. That's going to be Douglas Wyatt. He'll hook up with him in the number 12. Here we go down the backstretch. Going to turn number 4. It is going to be Chad Cole under attack. Guy Snyder the 4th. This is what, guys, like the 12th lead change in less than, what, 14 laps?
Race leader CJ LaVere out front in turn 1. Behind him, John Hanna Jr. in the number 6 machine being pushed by Eric. It's a 3-car breakaway, but RC Rigdon's not going to have any of that. He's in 4th, but he's got pressure on the outside as Huffman challenges for 4th.
Oh, yeah, they're 3 wide going back into turn number 1, and now LaVere pulls that throttle down to the bottom. Under attack in the middle lane comes Landon Huffman. Huffman, the points leader. He's rolling down the end. He's going to now carry looks like the 66 of Michael Gray with him. Gray with a great run going here at Talladega. He's inside the top 5. And the Navy Nuke now tries to size up the leader and John Hanna as they come to the stripe to put 15 on the board this time by.
Just to give you some sort of idea about where Michael Gray came from, he qualified 20th West, and he's sitting 6th or 5th right now on the track. Also, race leader CJ LaVere in that number 4 machine. Qualified 18th. He's worked himself all the way up to car position number 1 with 15 laps in at Talladega.
15 laps in, and they're about to close in on back marker cars. But meanwhile, it's hot and heavy for the lead. Nobody breaks out of position. Lavaire's got it. Here comes Hannah. Hannah now opens it up about a half a car length over the Navy Nuke of Arnold as they go down the main straightaway going to turn 1.
Little bit of a lap traffic car ahead. Jose Gonzalez in the number 36 position. Car number 11. He's going to stay way up high for these cars. You'll see 3 wide for a minute, but don't get too scared. Landon Huffman's going to be stuck in the middle. Michael Gray as well. 3 wide coming out of 2, Wes.
Guy Snyder, the 4th. Chad Cole in front of him. There's 6 single file. 6 cars single file as the Chad Cole starts to open up that advantage to the bottom. And now Cole's got Scott Brotherton to his inside. Cole, here comes Williams in the middle lane. Wow, it's exciting at Talladega, but so far we've been flag to flag as we come for lap 17.
Hearing from pit road, a lot of chatter on the radios right now complaining about high temperatures, and that's what you get when you get into this packed racing deal. You got guys just pushing, overheating. So big issues here early on at Talladega.
Absolutely, definitely about 5 or 6 of those machines on the Full Throttle Cup Series Tour complaining of overheating issues. Steam coming from the front of the car causing the car temperatures to really go up. That can cause the motors to blow on the power plants. Nobody yet has showed any signs of any type of engine failure or malfunction or failure for that matter. But right now, everybody all through the corners here at Talladega, that's one reason why they jump out of the draft. Why do they do that? Because they let that clean air get to the motor to cool the motors down, to bring the temperatures back down. Because if you run in that tandem draft, like we're seeing, Michael Keaton, it causes the temperatures and the heat to come back up.
It really does, and you gotta really be on your A-Day game, paying attention to that swap in front of you if it happens in front of you, because they're gonna be slower than you. So you gotta kind of let up or just try to find a hole and go through it. And we've seen that already here early on at Talladega with some of these cars. But Michael Gray being pushed to the lead by Scott Brotherton down the backstretch, and now Brotherton challenging Gray for the lead.
And they go down the back straightaway back into turn number 1, and Landon Huffman now goes to the lead. New leader at Talladega, Landon Huffman, the points leader, out in front, but not for long. He's got a hornet's nest as they come to turn 4.
Scott Brotherton being shown the race leader coming down the front stretch, getting a really good push from Landon Huffman, the number 8 car leading at Talladega, and that man against breast cancer Chevrolet.
New leader Scott Brotherton, he powers out in front. Now Huffman wants that spot back. Lavaire's ready to strike, and don't count out Michael Gray with probably one of the best runs he's had so far this year. Down the straightaway, nobody breaks out of line as they'll come to the line. It's still going to be Brotherton leading that charge down the super stretch into turn 3.
Looks like Huffman's real consistent with staying behind the number 8 machine here. That's Scott Brotherton, your race leader, but they are getting a little bit of a gap between 3rd and 4th place here of Gray and C.J. Lavere, who holds 3rd.
And they come through the triangle, back down to the start-finish line. And it is Brotherton. He'll lead another lap. We're on lap number 20. I'm pretty certain pit stops will be coming up here very, very soon. Real quick, let's go to Justin Rhodes now with a pit report.
Chris Schallenberger and Cale Dresbeck come down on the pit road. They take no tires at all. Tires are not important here in Talladega. They stuff 1 can of Snokel race fuel in it, and they're back out on the racetrack. But the problem is for Chris Schallenberger, he did not have his draft partner come down. He's out there all by himself, guys.
Hung out the draft. The draft partner stayed on the racetrack, and now he has got to begin to make that assault to try to get back through the field and stay on the lead lap. We're 20 laps now, making lap 21 on the board. This time by from Talladega Super Speedway. We'll take a quick break. We're so far flag to flag since the green flag is waved. We'll take a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back with more of the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Round 4 The Chase from Talladega Super Speedway. You're listening to the ETV Live and watching the Entertainment Sports Network.
we're back, race fans, and you didn't miss a thing with that side-by-side live action. And for the race lead now, the number 6, John Hanna Jr., getting a big push from the 4th, C.J. Lavere, who's been out front a little bit of his own self. So Talladega starting to pay off here for some of these guys coming down pit road a little early. Now I understand it with Joshua saying that with 40 to 45 laps on fuel here, and them guys coming down on lap 20, Wes, I really don't know. I don't understand that. It seems like a quick pit to me. And Justin, you know, I'm going to take it to you on that pit strategy. Why is these guys coming down so early?
These guys are probably anticipating the big one. They want to try to hang back away from everybody, let the caution happen, and then take track position when everybody else has to pit, Mike.
Well, that does make sense. And if it stays green, those guys that pitted on lap 20 is going to have to come around lap 60 or so, because that's about all they can stretch out of it. But meanwhile, back out front, side by side, too deep as the number 8 machine comes down on Landon Huffman, puts the block move on him like Tony Stewart, except not wrecking the field.
Yeah, Tony Stewart barrel rolled that number 14 off his depot car yesterday after that move that Waltrip made. But these guys kind of respect one another. Nobody breaking out of the line. Nobody really trying to put anybody in the wall. And now here comes the 3. Landon Watkins, he's trying to get, well, it looked to me like it was getting a little impatient. Then he just kind of gathered it back in. I'm telling you what, guys, it's a long way to go. So far, we're caution-free, 26 laps. I got a feeling, though, the big one's coming. Just one wrong slip of somebody, and that's all she wrote.
And right now, the lead pack was all 2 by 2, about 6 rows deep, but now they've settled back out. And Wes, that's what you got to expect. You know, these guys will pull away for a little bit until those engines start to overheat, and then you'll see them swap, and that's when you see the field start to catch the leaders again. As you see right now, 3rd and 4th get real antsy behind Huffman for the lead.
Yeah, that's correct. As they go back into the corner one more time, it is still going to be Scott Brotherton leading that way. I'll tell you what a great turnaround for Scott Brotherton. The last couple of races he's been at, he's been involved in wrecks or been involved with, you know, mechanical issues and put him in the pits. But right now, he's on cloud 9, leading the way here at Talladega, and he loves the inside. 2 cars go to the bottom. You can't drive below the yellow line. I don't think you can. 22 trying to stick it down to the inside, as well, they'll gather back up. Can you drive below the yellow line, Michael Keith? Was that changed in the driver's meeting?
I think you can go under the yellow line, but you cannot advance your position, I think is what it is. But Justin got a little report from pit road early on here, 27 laps into this 88-lap race at Talladega. Justin?
Guys running 35th and 36th, Keith Brooks Jr., Stephen Herring, they're both behind the pit wall right now, experiencing a lot of internet issues right now. They're sitting behind the wall here, so to speak, here to let their connection settle down before getting back out on the track.
R.C. Rigdon in the lime green machine going 3 wide to take over that number 4 spot from R.J. Williams. He's got Eric Arnold Navy Duke in front of him, who's battling outside for the lead, but R.J. Williams stakes it 3 wide again. R.J. Williams 3 wide in the middle, outside him, the number 47 of Eric Arnold. That washes away. Single file as Landon Huffman now looks to the outside of Scott Brotherton for the lead. And R.J. Williams and C.J. Lavere also right there on the leaders, right sides, on the high side coming off too, Justin.
I'll tell you what, these guys are sitting there hooked up. They got it highline running really good there, Mike. They're pulling hard, and they just come down across, put R.J. Williams out front, C.J. Lavere in second. These guys have got the hooked up running on the high side here. It seems to be the fast way you want to go tandem style all the way to the front.
Yeah, this tandem style, Justin, it takes so long to try to understand it because the swaps can be so dangerous. You know, it's all about where you do the swap at. If you wait to the tri-oval or the backstretch, you're going to lose a ton of speed. Most of these guys try to make the swap in the entrance of 1 or the entrance of 3.
Most definitely. Yeah, you know, the thing is with the swaps, guys, is that, you know, you're about 10 to 15 miles an hour slower than you are at peak speed when you're hooked up in a tandem. So when you see these guys switching going into a corner, it's the easiest way to make a switch without losing so much time. I mean, you go into the corner, one guy who's trying to get, you know, cool his motor, he goes to the bottom side, the guy that's switching with him, he goes to the high side, and it's just a matter of a few hundred yards there, and then they're back hooked up again, shooting right out of the corner full speed.
Absolutely, and that's one thing you got to be careful about, because it really starts to boggle everybody back up, and sometimes that's when you'll see the wreck happen. And right now, Landon Huffman, as you mentioned, that outside lane starting to work on it again, as Huffman in the number 3 of J. Randall Watkins down in turn 2. 58 laps to go here at Talladega. Justin is starting to get a little antsy up front here, as some of these guys may start to decide about, hey, when do I need to come down pit road?
Most definitely. Don't count out the guys out on the outside there, the Navy Nuke, Eric Arnold, R.C. Rigdon. They're up there running that extreme outside lane, making it 3 wide, going into 3 just about here. Looks like they're going to switch here, so they're going to fall back here. But, Mike, look for that extreme outside lane here come about 10 to go. Those guys are really going to get the run over the guys on the inside and in the middle lane.
Absolutely. I've seen it happen before where their top lane up there going 3 wide actually could come off the turn with a little bit more head of steam than the other guys, because in all essence, the first 2 guys up there running 2 wide, they've been pushing each other for a while. Their engines are starting to overheat, and the guy that's making it 3 wide up top has not been pushing that teammate for so long, so he's got a little bit more horsepower to put into that motor before it starts to overheat. So that's why sometimes you'll see them push it way up there 3 wide, just because they think that they've got that edge.
Look out now, J. Randall Watkins. He's up on the high side there with Adam Roberts, I do believe. They're the 88 or 83 car, excuse me, at Jay Horton. Those guys are coming out on the outside lane. Look for them to go to the front here if they stay hooked up here for the trial.
And we're hearing that the number 4 machine there of C.J. LeVere stuck in between 3 teammates. You got R.J. Williams up there, Scott Brotherton, Landon Huffman, and Adam Roberts, I believe, all on the same team, if I'm not mistaken. So he's kind of up there just helping a team out, if you will.
Mike, I want to point out something. These guys are going 3 wide, and right now they're looking like they want to go 4 wide going into turn 3 here at Talladega Superspeedway. These guys are certainly getting the hair standing up on the back of my neck here. It's way too early for these guys to be racing like this, Mike.
Yeah, that's back out in 12th position with Glenn Campbell. We just saw the 17 of Chad Cole squeezed by him on the high side, although no drafting partner there except for Guy Snyder, who's about a car length behind. Again, that's for the 10th and 9th position. And now Chad Cole making a charge to the front with Guy Snyder behind him, making it 3 wide. Gray goes high. 17 looking still on the outside. He's got R.C. Rigdon and Eric Arnold in front on the high side, Justin, as they go down the backstretch.
Easy come, easy go. That's the storyline here at Talladega. Guy Snyder, Chad Cole, 11th and 13th on the track right now is the time they cross the stripe. They're up there around 6th, 7th, 8th right now, and they're running on that high side. Look for them to possibly go either through the middle, Mike, or into that 3rd lane and get that big run like we just talked about here.
You got R.J. Williams leading this thing with C.J. LeVere there. Eric Arnold's on the high side with R.C. Rigdon behind his back bumper. The number 8 and the 75 are hooked up, and Chad Cole and the 27 of Guy Snyder's also hooked up. West 2 deep, 4 rows back.
Yeah, that battle continues on for the top position. Nobody really jumping out of the groove yet to try to run down R.J. Williams in the ETV Live car. Now a new group being made by C.J. LeVere, and under attack for one moment is going to be, well, R.C. Rigdon hung out to dry. Eric Arnold, they trying to hook up with one another to get back to the front of the draft, but still, it's still going to be R.J. leading off turn 4, guys.
We're going to have a new leader at the line, being pushed by the number 27 of Guy Snyder, Chad Cole, and the D-Wall 4 to the lead here at Talladega, 36 laps in.
It's amazing how this drafting just went down. I thought he had a great car. Now he falls all the way back to 3rd. LeVere now picks up his rear deck lid to try to give him a push to get back up into the draft one more time. And yes, these guys are drafting. Look at the separation between 1st and 2nd, but I'm telling you, Lap cars are up ahead, which is normally unlikely at Talladega. It's about to happen. 4 cars in front of your leader, Chad Cole, in turn 3, and now a change for the lead. Oh yeah, he tried. Chad Cole under attack by Guy Snyder. And it is Guy Snyder, the 4th, with the move down to the inside. He'll take the lead into turn number 4 to the tribal.
Just another example of a swap here at Talladega. That's why there's so many lead changes, Wes. These guys have to swap about probably every 2 or 3 laps or 4 laps, depending on how much tape these guys were running, 10%, 20%, or minimum. But, yeah, you got to give up the lead every now and then. That draft partner's got to get out front of you to cool that engine off.
One thing I want to point out, Mike and Wesley, is that these guys here from pit road, they're all saying they want to run about 10% tape here. They want to keep a little bit of that aerodynamic advantage when they're out in front of the guy pushing them, but they also want to make sure they have a big enough opening when they're pushing so that they can stay cool and run about 2 to 2.5 laps here once these motors get through a few heat cycles.
And out front, yeah, Justin out front again, though we see Landon Huffman, or excuse me, not Landon, Guy Snyder and Chad Cole out front, and the separation between the second pack there, if you will, 3rd place, is about half a second. So, but like I said, these guys will have to swap again, and that will allow Brotherton and Huffman to catch them.
Certainly look out to Ada Scott Brotherton and CJ Laverde. They're all sitting there slicing and dicing with RJ Williams and Landon Huffman certainly battling 2nd through 6 on the track right now. And these guys, look out, Landon Huffman and Scott Brotherton. They're looking to the outside of Guy Snyder and Chad Cole coming down to the trioval, Mike.
Josh, you got to be thinking, when are these guys coming down? We're completing lap number 39 here out of 88. Pit strategies between 40 and 45. I've heard someone say can't really push past 40. So we're coming down to that, coming down to the time where these guys are coming down pit road. Is things starting to shake up down there on pit road, Josh?
Yeah, everybody down here is getting it. They'll be coming in the next couple of laps. That's what I'm hearing. And but one thing is, if you look at 28 and back, that's an entire team. They've pitted to get off sequence, and they're trying to stay out of the big one. But yeah, it should be the next couple laps. We should see green flag stops.
Let's see if Chad Cole here in the 35 car, Chris Shot.
Set 5, Landon Huffman is on pit road. He's coming right down to you, Joshua.
Yeah, Landon Huffman's in his pit stall. He's going to take some fuel, and no tires, it's a fuel stop as we wait for him. And Landon Huffman's away. He just got fuel, and RJ Williams came in with him. They came in. He got fuel only, and they're both out.
Yeah, looks like a lot of these guys taking fuel only, or maybe right sides too, Justin. Right sides to counteract that fuel. Uh-oh, Justin.
Caution on the speedway. Who was the cause of that? I see one car around sitting on the entrance and turn
Looks
road,
like
and also another car on pit road.
Looks like RC Rigdon in the number 4 spot, the 19 machine, going around for a loop, collected a little bit by the number 47 of Eric Arnold is what sent that haywire into discretion down the front stretch.
What we tell you here just a few minutes ago here about the guys that were sitting there on sequence. These guys are sitting in the catbird seat. They can either choose to pit and be on sequence again and go the rest of the way, or they can choose to take the lead and let everybody else pit who has not pitted just yet.
And I just seen the Rhinestone Cowboy, the Penske Chevrolet of Glenn Campbell, who run 10th position, spinning across through the infield, caused up in that wreck, hitting the inside pit wall. And guess what, guys? That car's done. Engine blown in the 44 machine of Glenn Campbell. But working.
Tough luck for Glenn Campbell. It seems like he's not had the best of luck here lately. Been seeing a lot of blown motors for him lately, and just caught up in a lot of other people's stuff. But that's the name of the game here at Talladega. You gotta try to avoid what the other people do here, Mike Keaton.
Absolutely, and some of the guys who are holding out between that fuel window now coming down pit road, the whole gang. Guy Snyder leading the charge down pit road, 55 miles an hour in the 27 Gulf Pride SnyderFuels.com Chevrolet. Behind him, the Ford DeWalt machine of Chad Cole. Josh coming down pit road towards the rear entrance, or the exit of pit road, the 27 Lennon in the stall.
That 27's in. Oh, the 47 shot his pit box. He had to back up. Looks like 27's getting right side tires and fuel. The same thing with his drafting partner, Chad Cole, right side and fuel. And looks like RJ Williams came back in again. There goes Guy Snyder. And
looks like Guy Snyder going to lose that #1 spot. J. Randall Watkins, Jay Horton beating him off pit road there.
One thing I want to point out, Mike Keaton, is both Chad Cole and Eric Arnold both overshot their pit stalls coming into the pits this time by.
Yeah, tough break for Eric Arnold. I saw that all but actually past the pit stop. I had to put that thing in reverse, and like Josh said, valuable time lost on that pit box there. But I'm sure Eric Arnold can make up the ground, and I tell you what, we're going to step away to the commercial break, but when we return, green flag racing here at Talladega with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series with Bob Earl Racing, seat at stake for the championship here at Talladega. When we return, green flag racing and what hopes to be the last of pit stops until the end. All right, we're back, and still under caution here is the pace car still with the lights on going down the backstretch. Looks like Nathan Little, who started this thing on the pole, he's sitting 29th. He's looked and scheduled to get at least, yeah, his lap back, so he'll be back on the lead lap again. That's Nathan Little being shown the 29th position. Being shown your race leader, though, is going to be Jay Horton, Justin, and that 83 machine out front here at Talladega.
You know, one thing that I want to point out here to everybody listening here is that with a couple more cautions, these guys have just pitted here right about the halfway point here, as we're going to probably go green flag here, Mike Keaton, with about halfway. So a couple cautions there and a couple lucky breaks here. These guys might actually make it to the end on one stop.
Yeah, mathematically, lap 44 would be halfway to 88. So, and we talked before the race started, fuel laps window between 40 and 45, or 45 is really stretching it. That might be with another caution. And these guys, man, I tell you, Justin, if it comes down to something like that where it stays green to the end, we might see some guys running out of gas.
But we have a lot of guys coming down pit road here to top off here. Josh, they're coming right your way, buddy.
Yeah, they're all going to top off on fuel just to make sure they can get as much as they can get out of it. Just to get a little splash, get that extra lap or two if they need it.
Yeah, lights just went off the pace car, signaling 1 lap to go. J. Randall Watkins now being shown your race leader. He's in the number 3 Chevrolet. Outside him, starting is going to be the number 63 of White Wolf Jr. So he'll take up second spot there and secure the first row. But yeah, these guys coming down pit road, good call on these crew chiefs by those guys, because right here it's do or die.
You know, track position gain can easily be track position lost if you get shuffled outside of the draft, but as long as you have somebody to draft with here and keep on the switch in there, it would be really easy for these guys to sit there and ride back and maybe hang back, you know, probably a good, 10-15 seconds off the main pack here, Mike Keaton. And that way they save that little bit of extra fuel here if we go green the rest of the way.
Yeah, not having a draft partner here at Talladega is like going to your high school prom without a dance partner or without a date. You gotta have a date. You gotta have a dancing partner here at Talladega, just like you gotta have a date and a dancing partner at the prom.
Most definitely. You know, as we're sitting here getting ready to go back green flag racing, you know, we're going to come across the stripe here. We're going to complete lap 44. That'll put us right at the halfway mark here when they drop the green flag. You know, certainly a lot of guys showing their muscle early on with Guy Snyder, Chad Cole, Landon Huffman certainly throwing his name in there, along with Jay Horton, C.J. LeVere, the Navy Nuke, Eric Arnold. You know, certainly some faces we haven't seen, like J. Randall Watkins and White Wolf Jr. out front. Can somebody from the back of the pack possibly flex their muscle here before the end of the race? Our time will only tell, Mike Keaton, as the pace car pulls off here, coming down to the tri-oval.
And you're right, this is anyone's race, and time will definitely tell. And as they come through the tri-oval, 70 miles an hour, the number 3 machine, J. Randall Watkins, going to take them to the green here at Talladega, completing lap 45, pushing us just over halfway here as they come to the line. Justin, number 3 of J. Randall Watkins, going to lead at Talladega.
What a great restart by the 75 Landon Huffman. He's actually running about the 5th spot at this point. We're going 3 wide into turn 1. CJ LeVere, he squeaks out front. 47 Navy Nuke, Eric Arnold, he's battling 3 wide there with Landon Huffman coming out of 2. They get themselves sorted out. Landon Huffman, Eric Arnold, the Navy Nuke, they're hooked up. They're shooting for the lead coming down the super stretch, Mike.
Man, you ain't kidding. What a start that Huffman and Eric Arnold had. They're all the way up to the front, to the lead here as the 75 machine backs off of Eric Arnold there in 3. He could have pushed him to the lead, but backed off, and now Eric Arnold nudges back underneath in 3rd position behind the number 4 machine of C.J. LeVere as they come down the tri-oval.
Getting word from pit road at the 66 is serving a penalty, but the teammates Landon Huffman and Jay Horton, they're hooked up on the high side there. Give them a lap here to get going, Mike Keaton. They're going to be battling for the lead here in about no time.
And John Millane, who's being shown a couple of laps down, is actually looks like he's going to push Eric Arnold. Maybe not. He goes up high. Eric Arnold in 5th place, not without a draft partner.
Tough luck for Eric Arnold. Teammates certainly hooking up behind him, certainly didn't help him, but J. Randall Watkins, C.J. LeVere, they got a swap probably coming down this time by into turn 1. That might give the lead to Landon Huffman and Jay Horton here coming through the tri-oval here as they're hot on their heels coming out of 4.
Talladega, just that flip-flopping track that you got to get used to and accustomed to, this tandem swapping deal. It really can be detrimental sometimes, and it could pay off if you time it just right. But timing that engine and timing them gauges, you don't want to play around with that, because that engine can blow. I've heard it from anywhere from 3 seconds with that oil blinking to 10 seconds to half a lap. So it's real random, and you got to be real careful with those gauges.
Guys, we're sitting here 2 wide, 2 by 2 by 2 for the lead going into 3. Landon Huffman, Jay Horton, they're in the middle lane. They're looking for the lead, but the guys right behind them, Guy Snyder, Chad Cole, they were looking to the outside lane, almost making it 3 wide, coming out of 4. They're coming down to the tri-oval, 2 by 2 by 2. J. Randall Watkins, CJ Lavere, they're not going to hold the lead coming out of the tri-oval as the 82 83. Excuse me, who was it up there? The 82, they're sitting there, you know, nose to tail. 82, he gets out of the draft. He's a lap down. John Milwane, Eric Arnold, he's sitting there certainly trying to run for the front. He took the lead that time by Mike Keaton.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say, Eric Arnold did get credit for taking the lead. The 82 of Milwane just for a second pushed him to the lead and then had to back out. But now the 47 of Eric Arnold hooked up with the points leader, Landon Huffman, who's running 3rd position right now as they look to pass CJ Lavere coming out of 4.
Strange. 3 wide coming out of 4. Landon Huffman, he gets shuffled to the outside. The Navy Nuke. Dang it, I keep fumbling the names here, but Chad Cole, he takes the lead crossing the stripe with Guy Snyder out front of him. J. Randall Watkins and CJ Lavere, they're still holding strong in 4th and 5th on the inside row, but the guy that got shuffled there, that exchange coming out of turn 4, Mike Keaton, was Landon Huffman. He's certainly trying to do everything he can to stay hooked up with his teammate, Jay Horton.
And coming out of nowhere in the number 16 machine, Steve Ritter. He was hooked up with Cal Drasback that you see there in 4th place, hooked up with 13 Dwayne Vincent. But I'm going to tell you something, Steve Ritter looked like he was shot out of a cannon when Cal Drasback was on his rear end coming down the backstretch.
Most definitely, but there's a challenge for the lead coming into the trial. That number 45 of Cal Drasback, he's hooked up on the outside. He's going to take the lead coming to the stripe here. Oh, excuse me, he actually got held off by Chad Cole by 9,000ths of a second that time by at the stripe. They're 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back to about 9th or 10th spot there, Mike Keaton.
And that's Dwayne Vincent who's trying to get that 45 machine. Kel Drasback to the front for the first time here tonight at Talladega, 50 laps in, this time by 51 on the board. Chad Cole, Guy Snyder down low, up high, Kel Drasback and Dwayne Vincent.
Chad Cole and Guy Snyder, the 4th, they're certainly hooked up and running strong on the bottom side. Dwayne Vincent, Kel Drasback, they're still running that high side there. They may have the switch going down into turn 1, but the 3 of J. Randall Watkins and the 16 of Steve Ritter, they're still running on the inside line, just towing in the draft, saving their motors for the end of the race. Mike Keaton, this thing's going to get extremely wild here as the pace picks up here with about almost 30 to go.
And now, just as you said, with 30 laps to go, things starting to heat up. And in fact, we got a little heat-up moment right now with Josh. Josh, what's going on?
Well, the 47 Navy Nuke of Eric Arnold, he didn't like the restart with Landon Huffman. He thinks Landon Huffman jumped the restart. So they're reviewing that, and we'll see what happens with that.
Wow, that's going to be interesting if it's reviewed and some sort of penalties given out to Huffman. He's your points leader, Justin, and battle now for the lead. Steve Ritter in the number 16 machine going for it all right here down the front stretch. He's got J. Randall Watkins tucked up under the deck lid. He's got the lead.
Guys are sitting there 3 wide going into turn 1 here. They're sitting here for about the 12, 13, 14 spot. The 7 of Timmy Logwood, he was sitting there in the middle. He's going to find his way into the bottom side, but Guy Snyder, the 4th, Chad Cole, they're making it 3 wide coming down out of 2. Coming down to the super stretch to you, Mike Keaton.
3 wide, Eric Arnold, Navy Nuke still in the middle, and that's for 4th, 5th place. 27, Guy Snyder up high, they settle back down. And wow, John Abbott's starting to make his way presence towards the front of the field here at 50 laps into this race.
How about this? Landon Huffman, he's hooked up with the 21 of R.J. Williams, and they're sniffing the outside of Steve Ritter and J. Randall Watkins coming to the tri-oval. Give the lead to Steve Ritter this time by as he holds off Landon Huffman and Guy Snyder. Eric Arnold, he's sitting there all by himself. He's running in the 5th spot, but the guys coming on the outside, the 27 of Guy Snyder, the 17 of Chad Cole, they are hoofing it around the outside, passing everybody. Coming in the outside lane there, Mike. These guys are going to hook up really good coming down the super stretch, and they're probably going to take 3rd place going into turn 3, Mike.
Keep an eye on the front here now, 16-3. They're doing a swap here, and they've got a whole group of hungry guys behind them. 3 wide, in fact, as Chad Cole leads the charge, coming off 4. He's going to look for the lead. Maybe, maybe not. Don't know if he can get there.
Again, they're fanning out 3, almost 4 wide coming into the tri-oval, folks. CJ LeVere, he's sticking his nose in there for about the 7th or 8th spot there. He shoots down to the inside. What a move by CJ LeVere going into turn 1.
CJ LeVere being shown in the 9th spot. He just took that number 10 spot over from Eric Arnold, and you're not kidding. CJ LeVere, no stranger to the front here at Talladega, that's for sure. And he's right behind Landon Huffman, who's 6th place.
Moving along in the outside line, we've got a new leader going into turn 3. Chad Cole, he powers around the outside with the help of Guy Snyder, the 4th around J. Randall Watkins, Steve Ritter. They're still on the inside. Running 5th and 6th right now is going to be the 21 of R.J. Williams, the 75 of Landon Huffman. John Abbott, he's hanging there right with them too. He's running right around the 10th spot as he fell back there coming through turn 3 and 4 there as they were fanning out 2 wide there going into coming out of turn 4, Mike.
Chad Cole going to get credit for leading that lap. Lap number 55 here at Talladega. Being pushed by Guy Snyder in the 27 machine. Also down low, tagged up, is the number 3, J. Randall Watkins, who's been out front most of the race. And Steve Ritter, as we mentioned, just coming to the front laps ago to lead a couple. He's now pushing J. Randall Watkins back towards the lead in 3 and 4.
One thing I want to point out to you, Mike, going into turn 3, the 27 of Guy Snyder, the 4th, he actually messed up a little bit of a swap there with Chad Cole, and they're falling back hard on the outside. Give the lead to the J. Randall Watkins car, the car number 3, followed closely behind by Steve Ritter. Jay Horton, he made a power move around Landon Huffman that time coming through turn 4 and coming out of the tri-oval. He's hooked up and right on the back bumper, the 21 of R.J. Williams coming through turns 1 and 2, Mike. Take us down the super stretch there as they're looking to go 3, maybe 4 wide for the lead coming out of 2.
Looking back in 8th position, starting to look 3 wide. John Abbott, I thought that him and Doug Roth were going to make a hard charge. They didn't. Let's keep an eye out on Dwayne Vincent, who's moving up through the field. He's in 9th place, being shown behind the 27 of Guy Snyder there. It looked like he was looking for a 3 wide action. He may still be looking for it. I don't know. But I tell you, Justin, starting to race a little hard and a little aggressive here, but we're closing in on the final 30 laps.
31 laps to go this time by J. Randall Watkins. He's your leader right now, but coming hard on the outside. Coming into turn 1 is going to be the 17 of Chad Cole, 27 Guy Snyder, 13 Dwayne Vince. They're hooked up. They're coming hard. That top side's coming, guys. Coming out of 2. We're going to have a battle for the lead coming down the super stretch, Mike.
Indeed, battle for the lead. 2 deep, or side by side, about 6 deep. Chad Cole leading the charge on the outside. J. Randall Watkins, as well as Steve Ritter, leading the charge on the inside. Lap traffic just about half a turn ahead, coming out of 4. J. Randall Watkins leading here at Talladega.
Folks, we are 20 deep, 2 by 2 by 2 for battling for the lead here, guys. We're 20 deep, 2 wide, making 3 wide coming through the tri-oval. The 82. Mill Wayne, he's a lap down. He sticks his nose outside. Make a move to the bottom for Chad Cole. Give the lead to Guy Snyder going into turn 1. He's hooked up with a 13 of Dwayne Vincent. They're pushing hard, coming out of 2. Holy moly, these guys are moving all over the place. Uh-oh, trouble, trouble, trouble. Cars in the wall, turn 2. What's happening, Mike Keaton?
Looks like the number 45 machine, Kel Dresbach, who was running 16th at the time of the caution. Actually, it looked like it happened just ahead of him in the number 7 in the 8 car, running 15th and 14th. A little checkup, but just enough to send Kel Dresbach, Ronnie Potts, and the 85 machine of Nathan Little hard in the outside wall.
Here comes strategy time, Mike Keaton. These guys are certainly playing the strategy card right now. Coming down this time by the 29 laps to go. In the race here, we'll go green with about 25 to go or so. Mike Keaton, these guys can either choose to stay out or take the safe bet and come down pit road, take 1 can of Sunoco race fuel, and they'll make it to the end.
That was Nathan Bowers, excuse me, not Nathan Little, for those fans watching. Little, he's doing fine. He's 14th being shown right now. No damage on that race car. 97's fine, but you're right, Justin. Pit strategy big time right here as we look for the field to catch up to the pace car, who's in turn number 3 here, slowing at a pace of 70 miles an hour. Guy Snyder being shown your race leader. Let's see if he ducks down low here to go down pit road. Justin, if I'm him, I'm staying out. I think I've got enough, and I think you can count on maybe one more caution at least. This one's a big one here, but you may see that 27 machine come down pit road, and I believe if he does, Justin, I believe the rest of the field will.
It may be monkey see, monkey not do Mike Keaton. If the 27 comes down pit road, everybody else behind him might stay out. He might be the only guy. Is Guy Snyder, he stays out, but the 13 of Dwayne Vincent, he ducks down on pit road. 17, 10, everybody else out there pretty much running about 5th place or so, they stay out, but everybody else is on pit road coming to you, Joshua Harbison.
Yeah, we got Dwayne Vincent. He just got gas and he's out. Number 3's taking left side and he's going to be gassing out. Let's see. So Ritter came in. He's going to get some tires and he's going to get some gas and he's going to be rolling out. Yeah, a lot of people came down. It was about half and half. They're getting gas, some are getting tires, and they're rolling out.
Well, we know now, though, Josh, that the guys that just came down pit road, and Justin, you do too, we all know that now they've got enough gas to the end here. But what's going to make it interesting is the guys who stayed out. And that's going to be the likes of R.J. Williams, Eric Arnold, Doug Rolfe, John Abbott, who's been shown 3rd and in 2nd, Chad Cole, who you can hear that engine in the number 2 position. Chad Cole, that engine off, going in the backstretch, just clutching it ever so slightly, and Guy Snyder staying out. So, Justin, a couple of guys, 6 guys call it stayed out here.
Certainly interesting strategy here coming up here. We got about 27 laps to go next time by here. Probably going to be given the 2 to green here as we come around here, coming into turn 3 during this long caution period. Mike Keaton, one thing I want to point out to you is, can these guys save enough fuel? We've certainly seen fuel become a factor here in a lot of these plate races. These guys are getting, 2 caution laps for every green flag lap. So if we have an extended caution period here, these guys can put the fuel concerns behind them.
Well, look, if I'm looking at John Abbott, I'm looking at Chad Cole in 2nd and 3rd place right now. Also, Doug Rolfe's doing the exact same thing in 4th. They're down below the yellow racing surface under the apron. The engines are off. They're clutching the cars. It looks like they're saving, but it looks like they're scarcely saving. And what I mean by that is they really don't know if they've got enough. They're just really winging it, and they want to stay out front. To me, it's Talladega. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to come down pit road. I'm going to get my fuel, and I'm going to get my teammate, and we're going to make a charge back up to the front. Plenty of laps here. There's 28 laps to go. By the time we go green, about 26, 25 laps to go. So, why not take that chance and come down pit road and get the gas and make sure that you've got enough to make it?
Certainly an interesting strategy here. Here is the top 6. They've certainly made their bed. Now they got to lie in it. R.J. Williams, Eric Arnold, Doug Roth, John Abbott, Chad Cole, Guy Snyder the 4th. These guys, they're the only 6 on the track, and especially a track like this, Mike Keaton, where it's very, very hard to get away from the group behind you. All it takes is one botch swap, and next thing you know, you're sitting about 15. But, why would you not come down pit road and take the easy fuel?
Exactly. If I'm that close to... If I think I'm going to be that close, then I think I'm going to come down while I've got the opportunity. There may not be another opportunity. This might be the last caution. And if it goes green the rest of the way, then you got guys that's going to have to be conserving and paying attention to that fuel gauge, the water gauge, the oil gauge, not alone going 3 wide, Justin.
Most definitely, but Josh Harbison, I'm hearing some chatter on pit road. Would you like to fill us in on what's going on?
Well, I'm getting word here in my mic here, Justin, that Guy Snyder, who's being shown the race leader, that he's about 2 laps short as it stands right now. So it's going to be real close, and I think they're going to need at least 1 caution. Dakota?
Yeah, guys, felt the need to step in here and talk about this a little bit, but I went in there and was talking to him on the radio, I was talking to Chad Cole and Guy Snyder, just kind of talking about the Facebook and all kinds of things. But I asked them if they were good on fuel, and Guy Snyder actually said he thinks he is good by just a little bit, not much as whether saving fuel currently. They think they can go the distance up.
Yeah, now, Code, I'm hearing conflicting reports here. Guy Snyder actually coming on the race communication saying that he may be 2 laps to the bad. Not sure what he means by that. If he's got 2 laps, if that means really 2 laps to the good, or 2 laps short, or I really don't. Fill me in. Yeah. Well, you never know here. These guys trying to fake out each other going down pit road, trying to fake each other out on the chat here and race communications. So it's all fun and games. And Guy Snyder right now leading the charge. Did not pit last time by though, Justin.
Yeah, certainly a little bit different of a call, but the 47 of Eric Arnold, he's sitting way, way down on the apron. He's almost by the grass, folks. He's doing everything he can to make sure he saves every last drop of that Sunoco race fuel. But the pace car lights are out. I do believe, Mike Keaton, we are going to go green this time by. We will have 25 laps to go here when we go green. The top 6 right now in the running order as we're coming down to the green flag, folks. Did not come down and take a pit stop here and take a big can of Sunoco race fuel. These guys here, those are the ones to watch whether or not they run out of gas. But as anything can happen here with 25 laps to go, Mike Keaton, these guys may end up involved in the big one.
And if you're following along, watching us live here on etv-eplay.net, looking for your favorite driver, the top 10, Guy Snyder, Chad Cole, John Abbott, Doug Roth, Eric Arnold, R.J. Williams, Dwayne Vincent, Steve Ritter, J. Randall Watkins, and C.J. LeVere rounding out the top 10 here at Talladega as it stands, but plenty of laps to go. As Justin mentioned, 25 at the line. It's anybody's race here at Talladega.
It's pretty much anybody's race if you can avoid the big one, Mike Keaton, and that's the name of the game here at this place. You know, all it takes is somebody, you know, trying to do a swap just the wrong way, or a little bit of a lag issue here as they're trying to push each other across the racetrack. All it takes is one little minor thing that can set off, you know, a 20 to 25 car pileup that takes out all the contenders, and somebody riding in the back, they could be hooked up with their partner and go on to victory. So certainly as the Ford Mustang pace car pulls off, they're coming through the triangle. Guy Snyder, pull your belts tight as we're accelerating green flag back out here at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Good start for the front 2 there. Chad Cole, Guy Snyder getting to a smooth start behind each other. Also behind them, John Abbott and Doug Roth. 3rd and 4th being shown respectively. Eric Arnold hooking up with Dwayne Vincent for your 5th and 6th spot. Single file, Justin, as they come through 1 and 2 down the backstretch. Guy Snyder being shown race leader.
Guy Snyder and Chad Cole, they got out to about a 10 car length lead down the super stretch, but you might want to watch that because the guys behind them, John Abbott, Doug Roth, those guys are closing in on them at a high rate of speed. They got hooked up a little bit earlier, and plus they have the advantage of the draft from the guys in front of them. Those guys are probably going to look to the outside coming down the tri-oval as they're coming out of turn 4 right now. Eric Arnold, Dwayne Vincent, they're sitting there 5th and 6th right now on the racetrack. They got a 3-car tandem going on right there. I don't know what the deal is with that, but those guys coming out of the tri-oval right now, certainly an interesting development to watch here as the top 6 here are still running. You know, the guys that did not take any fuel, these guys are still running 1st through 6th. Mike Keaton, it's going to be interesting to see if they have to hug that bottom line to make sure they stay to the good.
Yeah, Doug Roth and Dwayne Vincent John Abbott were coming strong and fast, but it looked like they may have had to let up just a little bit because Chad Cole and Guy Snyder still being shown out front, at least by 3 or 4 car lengths. But now Abbott's starting to close in just a little bit. Like you mentioned, he's got the draft, but there again, Doug Roth comes unglued behind the deck lid.
One thing you want to watch out for, Mike Keaton, the 3-man freight train, the 3-car tandem, that's actually faster than a single 2-car tandem here, as Eric Arnold having a little bit of trouble staying in line and trying to keep the draft here as Chad Cole and Guy Snyder pull off a swap. Pulling to the outside, coming out of turn number 2, the 10-car of John Abbott, the 43 of Doug Roth. They're making a hard charge for the lead coming down the super stretch, Mike Keaton.
But the bad thing for them is that Chad Cole and Guy Snyder's already done their swap. The 43 machine's been behind the 10 for at least 3 or 4 laps or ever since this restart. And as you see, Chad Cole, Guy Snyder, and now the 47 of Eric Arnold going underneath the 2 that's on the outside of John Abbott and Doug Roth coming down the front stretch.
With our last restart here, Landon Huffman got quite the restart there, and Josh Harbison, I hear you have some more news on that. What you got, bud?
Yeah, not this restart, but the last one when the 47 and 75 are having words about the restart. The race control has ruled that Landon Huffman did not do anything wrong during that restart, so there will be no penalties added to him. And I also talked to Eric Arnold about his fuel situation. He said that he was so close he didn't know if he was going to make it or not.
Well, Justin, that makes me wonder if Eric's not going to be able to make it. How in the world will the other top 5 cars be able to make it?
Guys like Eric Arnold, he's going to need to find a tandem partner. He's going to need to find one fast. He's all out by himself. He's going to get freight trained by the 2 cars behind him. The the 13 of Dwayne Vincent and the 21 of R.J. Williams. R.J. Williams looks to the outside through the tri-oval. The guys that are in control of this so far early on here is we're back under green flag racing here, going to perform a swap in turn 1. The 27 of Guy Snyder and the 17 of Chad Cole. They got them swaps timed out perfectly. They're hooked back up coming out of 2. Eric Arnold, he's sitting there posing right up on the back bumper, now looking to the outside all by himself coming down the super stretch.
Man, that's why he's called the Navy Nuke there. Justin doing it all alone. Looked like he was going to make the pass, but quite couldn't do it. And now just underneath is R.J. Williams putting the fender in. Underneath 47 of Eric Arnold, taking over that number 3 spot coming down the front stretch.
Look out, they were 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. The 33 of Dave Lanza, the 6 of John Hanna Jr., they're making their run towards the front. They were hooked up together coming out of turn 4. They were 3 wide going down the stretch there, the short shoot down to the tri-oval. They fall back in line. They're 10th and 11th right now. They're sitting there running hard on the track on the outside line. They're going to come to the front here in just a couple laps, Mike Keaton.
Looking at the battle for 5th and 6th, that's Steve Ritter and Dwayne Vincent. Ritter pushing Vincent on the house outside here at Talladega in 3. Landon Huffman in the 75 underneath down on the bottom. No one to draft with him right now as it stands, but Eric Arnold, the Nuke, and R.J. Williams hooked up for 2nd and 3rd coming down the front stretch. Still leading here at Talladega is Guy Snyder.
The 16 of Steve Ritter, the 13 of Dwayne Vincent, they're hooked up. They're on the outside as they're pulling another swap out front with the 27 of Guy Snyder, Chad Cole. It's going to hold those guys up on the outside lane. New leader coming out of 2. Hooked up in tandem is going to be the 21 of R.J. Williams with the Navy Nuke, 47 Eric Arnold. They're going to take the lead coming down the super stretches. We're 3 wide sitting there running for about the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th spot there. John Hanna Jr., Dave Lanza, they're hooked up. They pushed it 3 wide in the tri-oval, and they're sitting there running 7th and 8th now, making a bid to go past Chad Cole and Guy Snyder for the 5th and 6th spot. As Chad Cole, Guy Snyder, they look to the outside of Landon Huffman and Dwayne Vincent there for the 2nd and 3rd spot.
Hearing on radio communications that Eric Arnold needs to swap with the 21 race leader of R.J. Williams, who's out front. They're swapping right now. Look at that now. Look at this, Justin. Keep your eye on Landon Huffman. Keep your eye on Chad Cole. They're going to have to slow down. Let's see if they do it.
Well, almost trouble as they're sitting there 3-4 wide coming out of turn 2. That was almost a disaster right there. The 21 of R.J. Williams, the 47 of Eric Arnold, they got shuffled in a big way to the outside. That was almost a big one right here at Talladega Superspeedway. But the guys that took the lead is going to be 75, Landon Huffman, your points leader. He takes the hard charge with J. Randall Watkins closely hooked up on his deck lid. They're running in tandem down through the tri-oval. They're going to take the lead. Coming to you, Mike Keaton in turn number 1.
Just to show you how big the swap here at Talladega is, R.J. Williams, who was leading the race 1 lap ago, now being shown in 11th position. Also, Eric Arnold's behind him now, like you mentioned. Landon Huffman, race leader, being pushed by J. Randall Watkins, coming out of 2 down the backstretch. They've got about 3 or 4 car lengths on Doug Roth in number 6. John Hanna Jr. that's up high with working with David Lanza down the backstretch in 3.
Where did they come from? Mr. Johnny Come Lately, John Hanna Jr. looking to the outside of J. Randall Watkins. They're hooked up hard. They're coming really fast in the outside lane. The 27 and 17, Chad Cole, Guy Snyder, they're coming right behind them. And the high side is they're looking to make it 3 wide coming into the trial. The 47, the Navy Nuke, Eric Arnold, he's sitting there running all by himself right behind those 4 guys. Man, this is going to get really exciting here as we're coming up here to about 15 laps to go.
Yeah, we're coming up real close to the end of this 88-lap race here at Talladega with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. What's at stake here tonight? Well, the win is, of course, in more championship points, but nonetheless, the championship winner going to receive that racing cockpit designed by Bob Earl. I tell you, he's a championship race car driver who understands what it means to have a comfortable racing seat. These guys will love the design and features that fully an adjustable seat and frame and additional monitor stand also is included with this thing. It's valued over $350. You can order one right now at BobEarlRacing.com, or you can win one at the end of this season if you're in the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series as Doug Roth takes over the #1 spot here at Talladega. Justin?
There are no friends right now here coming in 15 laps to go this time by. They tried to pull a swap, the 43 Doug Roth and 10 John Abbott. They're 3 wide for the lead coming down the super stretch, looking to make it 4 wide, Mike Keaton. John Hanna Jr., he wants to go to the front. He wants to go to the front right now. They're 3 wide for the lead right now. John Hanna, he gets shuffled almost to the inside. Dave Lanza Jr., they duck down to the inside, give the lead to them coming out of the 4, coming down to the trial. Eric Arnold, he's in the Navy Nuke. He's hooked up with CJ LeVere. They're running, or excuse me, the 97, who's that, Nathan Little. They're hooked up on the outside. They're going to come hard here as they got a fresh swap here just about a lap ago, Mike Keaton.
New leader, John Hanna Jr., as you mentioned, taking the lead. I'm telling you, what a push that David Lanza laid into that Newegg Chevrolet just ahead of him to push him towards the front. Powering by Eric Arnold, Landon Huffman, and some of the likes of the others as they lead down 3 here with just a little over 10 laps to go at Talladega.
Pass for the 3rd position, doing it all by himself. The 75, Landon Huffman, he went around the 47 of the Navy Nuke. The Navy Nuke, Eric Arnold, he gets shuffled to the outside. The 97, Nathan Little, he's going to be out there to pick him up. But the 27 and 17, Guy Snyder, Chad Cole, they're sitting there about 6th, 7th position right now. They're looking for a little bit of breathing room there to run the outside lane and run up to the front. 75, Landon Huffman, he's right on the back deck lid of Dave Lanza. Those two have to swap, I believe, this time going into 3, so your new leader probably coming to the stripe this time by is probably going to end up being Landon Huffman, barring any run from the outside, Mike Keaton.
Looking back here in 12th position, John Abbott pushing Doug Roth in that STP Chevrolet or Ford towards the outside. Now they switch coming into 4 here. They're on the high side right behind your pole sitter, Nathan Little, who's being shown in the number 8th position. He's being pushed, or he's pushing Eric Arnold.
The 33 screaming, he's hot here as we're coming this time by. 12 laps to go this time by. The 33, he's screaming, his gauges are blinking, they're going to try not to blow it up. He was sitting there running on the nose of Landon Huffman there, but we have a challenge for the lead coming out of 247 Navy Nuke. He's challenging John Hanna for that lead coming down the super stretch.
2 by 2 coming down the front stretch, or back stretch, 202 miles an hour. The Navy Nuke of Eric Arnold being pushed by your pole sitter, Nathan Little. John Hanna Jr. on the bottom side. It looks like they're going to recover the lead coming out of 4. David Lanza pushing the 6, but like you mentioned, he's got to breathe that car. Now let's go down to Dakota Airman down on pit road with an update. Dakota!
27 and the 7 check for Guy Snyder teammates did not pit last time by, and they thought they were till they get on fuel. Right now they're looking about at least a lap to a lap short. That's why they're hanging in the draft. I think this might be the last you see of them because they're just trying to hang back and save fuel with Joshua Harbinson.
Yeah, I just got done talking to Landon Huffman and R.J. Williams and crew, and they said they are good to the end. They do not have to make another stop.
My, Justin, coming down to the final laps here. Next time by about 11 to go, or this time by the 2 fingers from the flagman will be waving, which signifies 11 laps to go here at Talladega. And as you heard Dakota Airman mention, Guy Snyder, Chad Cole a half a lap short. But Joshua Harbinson reporting that Huffman and his teammate is good to the end.
35 and 91, Chris Schallenbarger, Steve Gottschalk, they're running 3 wide right in the middle, not quite hooked up. They were a minute ago. 91 said he needed to breathe his motor a little bit, experiencing some temperature issues, but the guys to the outside, 27 and 17, Guy Snyder, Chad Cole, you just heard they may be a half a lap to a lap short. They were sitting there challenging 3 wide, the 10 and 43, they're sitting back there just outside the top 10. They're looking to make a run on the outside. They fall back in a line. We're 2 wide from about 5th on back. John Hanna Jr., he still holds on to the lead. Dave Lanza, he's sitting there right behind him. Lanza doesn't know what his temperature situation is going to be. Man, I got to tell you something, Mike Keaton. This is going to be one hell of a finish here as we're coming by with the 9 laps to go.
Absolutely, and if you're just joining us, 6 cars right now on the racetrack did not pit under our last caution, which was nearly 40 laps ago, so they're really trying to stretch their fuel limitations here, but the other guys, they're all good to the end here as Landon Huffman, points leader coming into this night's race, being shown in 3rd, challenging Guy Snyder to the outside, 3 wide, coming down into 3.
RC rigged and blew his motor. He's going to have to load it up on the trailer, but the man that just made one hell of a move, the 27, Guy Slater, he drove it by himself through the middle. He's hooked up with a 35 of Chris Schallenbarger. We are 3 wide for positions 2 through 10. They are coming on the outside of Dave Lanza and John Hanna. They're looking to the outside. They want to make a challenge for the lead going into turn 1.
Absolutely, this is where it starts to get fun right here, Justin. 3 wide, 2 wide, maybe a little bit of 4 wide here at Talladega. 8 laps to go. This time by, it's do or die down the backstretch. Coming to you, Justin, in 3.
Running single file, 1st through about 5th. John Hanna, Dave Lanza, those guys, they want to stay in line, see what they got to the end. Guy Snyder, he's going to have to stay tucked up and not try to be out front if he wants to make that half a lap turn into 1 lap to the good. But they're challenging 2 wide. Schallenbarger, he's made the switch. He's going to sit there and run that high line. He's hooked up again with the 91 of Steve Gottschalk. They're coming through the tribal right now. Give the 3rd position to the 35, Chris Schallenbarger. He's looking to the outside. They want to make that run for the lead.
I tell you what, that Nurse Chevrolet's got that number 35 of Schallenbarger, that CincyKarting.com Dodge up in front to the lead here, passing Lanza and the number 6 of John Hanna Jr. Now, Joshua Harbinson's got a little bit of an update on the number 6 and the number 33, who's been leading the last 5 laps. Josh?
Yeah, I just got done talking to both of their crew chiefs, and both of them as well. They're good on fuel, and their crew chief told them to hammer down, try and keep the lead.
Challenge for the lead coming out of turn 4. They are coming. Chris Schallenbarger, 91, Steve Gottschalk. They're looking 3 wide. Landon Huffman on the outside all by himself. He wants to challenge for that lead as we're coming down into turn 1, Mike Keaton.
Man, I tell you, Landon Huffman's got to have a strong car to put that thing outside 3 wide all by himself. He's got the 35 underneath, the 27 of Guy Snyder. Now Eric Arnold Navy Nuke pulls in. The 27's below the yellow apron. Has he run out of gas, Justin?
I do not know, but they're... Oh, trouble! 27, Guy Snyder, 17, Jack Cole. They are collecting. They are wrecking hard on the super stretch here.
No caution!
This may be no caution on the speedway. Navy Nuke, Eric Arnold, he's trapping up the back bumper. The 6, John Hanna Jr., Dave Lanza, he's in 2nd still. The battle is for the 4th spot. They're 2 wide coming through the... Guy Snyder, we hear, was out of gas as well. Holy moly, he was actually about 5 laps short. I wonder if any of these guys that did not pit, if they're going to run out of gas like R.J. Williams and the like, Eric Arnold, I wonder if we're going to see them pull off on the inside here this time by. The guys that may actually have this race in hand, they're out front, but don't count out the 35 and 91, Chris Schallenbargers, Steve Gottschalk. These guys are running hard on the outside, and they are coming fast.
Man, I can't believe there wasn't a caution, but I'm kind of glad there wasn't. But I tell you, John Hanna Jr. and the 33 of David Lanza being shown your 2 race leaders. They've got Adam Roberts and Michael Gray just ahead, being shown a couple of laps down. What's going to happen? Are the lappers going to stay low? Are they going to go high? I got to guarantee you that John Hanna Jr. is a little bit anxious right now, coming in into 1.
4 laps to go. The challenge for the lead is on Chris Schallenbarger. He's up door to door with the 33 of Dave Lanza. The lap cars staying up on the extreme high line. They're staying out of the way for the most part. John Hanna doesn't know what to do if he wants to move up. Schallenbarger, he pulls even. He's going to take the lead coming down the super stretch, Mike Keaton.
I'm going to tell you something. The 35 and the 91 and the 75 just drove around the 6 and 33 like they were sitting still. But you got to think that David Lanza's been pushing Hanna Jr. for a very long time now. As you say, oh, Lanza gives the 6 a big shove coming out of 4.
Challenge for the lead. Give the lead to Landon Huffman. He's hooked up with R.J. Williams coming through the trial. They're going to take the lead coming to the stripe. 3 laps to go here at the Talladega Superspeedway.
And just an update here from Joshua Harbinson on the 27 of Guy Snyder. May not have run out of gas, but what's the issue, Josh?
Yeah, I just got done talking to Guy Snyder's crew chief, and he didn't run out of gas. He was dropping low, trying to catch up, trying to let his teammate Chad Cole catch up right before that incident.
It almost looked like maybe the throttle was skipping because he was going from like 176 down to 174, back to 177, back to 170. You know, so it looked like he might have been out of fuel, but good news for that 27 machine. He's got plenty of fuel to make it to the end here, I guess, Justin.
Most definitely, but we're coming this time by. We're going to be 2 laps to go. Or excuse me, actually this time by is going to be 3 laps to go, folks. Sorry, my mistake on the lap counter. Not my favorite sim here to use as far as counting laps to go. 3 laps to go this time by. The 6 is right up on the back bumper of the 35, Chris Schallenbarger. We're all single file here, 1st through 6th, and then a gap back to the next 6 cars. We are running single file on the bottom. I believe somebody's going to wait till 2 to go to make their move, Mike Eaton.
And guess who's out front? Points leader, Landon Huffman, in the number 75 machine, SimSeat Chevrolet, being pushed by the number 35 car of Chris Schallenbarger, the SimSeatKarting.com machine coming off forward, Justin.
Coming this time by, 2 fingers in the air. That's 2 laps to go, folks. As Landon Huffman, Chris Schallenbarger, they are hooked up and they are not looking back, folks. They've opened up a 5-car lead over Dave Lanza, John Hanna. I wonder if the motor on Dave Lanza's went a little bit sour from having to stay behind the 6 of John Hanna Jr. for so long.
There you see the 35 machine and the 75 machine swapping there. That's going to allow the number 6 and the 33 of Lanza to move high side just outside of them. Now coming for the lead down the back stretch, going to take it over this time by maybe with 1 lap to go here at Talladega.
1 1/4 laps to go, folks. The 6 and 33 of John Hanna Jr., Dave Lanza, they're on the outside. They're looking to take the lead coming into the trial. The 35 and 35, 75, Schallenbarger, Landon Huffman. They're 3 wide in the trial. Eric Arnold almost causing a big wreck with 16 Steve Ritter. These guys are ducking and diving. They're looking 3 wide. Dave Lanza almost getting shuffled out. The 6, John Hanna Jr. leaves his teammate. He gets to the inside. That may be the move to win it, Mike Keaton. They are running. Oh, trouble, 47. Eric Arnold into the wall. That may do it.
No caution. It won't
No
end on a
caution.
caution.
No.
6, blocking Huffman to the bottom of the yellow line. Oh, no.
That
He gave
was
him room.
almost, oh man,
Never
that was
would've gave him
almost
room.
trouble. 75, Landon Huffman, he's got the run. Who's going to get it out of the trial? Well, 97, Nathan Little. 75, Landon Huffman. They are shucking and jiving, looking in the trial. Who's going to win it? 6 is hard in the wall with teammate David Lanza. Your winner is going to be the 75 of Landon Huffman, followed closely behind by Nathan Little.
Nathan Little, pole sitter, coming home in 2nd. And in 3rd, R.J. Williams, who won last week at Dover's. The top 3, 91 machine, Steve Gottschalk 4th, Chris Schallenbarger 5th, and Justin take them through top 10.
Steve Ritter, he's in the 6th spot. Guy Snyder, he comes home in the 7th spot after that little incident. Douglas Wyatt, he finishes 8th. He's in the 12 car. 69, Joseph Hayes, he's in the 9th spot. Rounding out your top 10, Mike Keaton's going to be the 4 car of C.J. Lavera.
Now, I'm going to say something here. Landon Huffman put 1 move on the number 6 car of John Hanna Jr. down the backstretch for the lead. I don't think John could get there. I don't know. You know? It looked like Huffman... It looked like Huffman may have went below that yellow line.
We will certainly find out as the time ticks by. We're looking for word from race control if that was a legit win. We don't know for sure if it was a block move or not. It depends on what the race officials call here. I mean, we're hearing from John Wessling here. He did go below the yellow line to advance position. We do not know if Nathan Little will be credited with the win or not. It will all depend on what the race officials decide. But folks, while we get this all sorted out, we're going to send it to commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the final official results here from the Talladega Superspeedway. We'll be back right after this message.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or
Nathan
just
was trying to
across
block
town,
me too.
Gary
I was putting a
Mercer
block
has
on
the
him.
best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
All right, race fans, we're back from an exciting finish here at Talladega with the Real Sim Full Throttle Cup Series. 88 laps it was, and then a pass for the lead over John Hanna Jr. down the backstretch. Looking at the replay now, John. John Hanna Jr. leading the race, and then it was and Landon Huffman winning here at Talladega with the number 97 machine of Nathan Little, trying to edge him out at the line, couldn't quite put the pass on him, but Landon Huffman once again coming to victory lane and throwing it down to Josh, who's standing by with third place tonight. R.J. Williams, who won last week at Dover, the Monster Mile. Josh Harbinson.
Yeah, I'm down here with RJ Williams. RJ, you had a great race. You won the last race, and you finished third this race. Tell us about that day.
Well, I just wanted to survive tonight, and that I did. I just want to hang in there. For some reason, it seemed like when we went 3 wide, the bottom lane really lost a lot of momentum for some reason. It's like I lost 50 horsepower. So I was trying to just hang on there and see what the moves were being made, and then they started wrecking behind me, and I just stayed in it, and then got a good run on old John Hanna there, coming off of 4, and went underneath him for third while him and Lenza were running, and just came across the line. Didn't want to put myself in any predicaments I shouldn't, and I think I did a pretty good job of that tonight.
Yes, you did. The car looked pretty clean when you brought on the pit road after the race. Is there anybody you'd like to thank for this race?
Well, of course, ETV Live Radio. I appreciate them sponsoring me for this chase. I hope I'm doing them justice here the past couple of races. The Huffman Racing boys, a bunch of fun guys to hang out with during the race, and my mom and dad for letting me do this on their computer every Monday night. I appreciate it.
Well, that's RJ Williams. Do appreciate you running that ETV Live car, and I'm going to throw it over to Michael Keaton, who's going by with Nathan Little.
Nathan Little started this race from the #1 position, putting out a qualification lap of 51.021. Very impressive, 0.03 of a tenth quicker than RC Rigdon, the lime green Chevrolet. Their Servers.com car couldn't quite put the move back on him, though, to take that #1 spot over. But Nathan, talk to us about getting that pole at Talladega here tonight.
It's got to be smooth. That's all it is, being smooth. All the way around the track. Keep it up high the first lap. Bring it down there and hug that yellow line, actually. For that second lap, be smooth.
Absolutely, and there at the end, wow, what a wild finish there. John Hanna Jr. being pushed maybe by David Lanza, and coming down just a little bit on Huffman, maybe forcing him to the bottom under the yellow line, and then Hanna Jr. doing the handsome favor move there, letting Huffman come back up to the racing surface. Now talk to us about that. Was you ready to make your move at that point on Huffman for the lead, or were you just kind of riding it out, or kind of take us through what was going through your mind?
I didn't know what was happening. I was pushing Landon as hard as he could go. I didn't know there was a hole there, but I pushed him through it somehow. I just followed him through. I figured I could make a pass off 4, but couldn't get it done. I didn't want to see that 75-car win, trying to help the field out here, but he got it done. He's unbelievable.
Nathan, anybody you'd like to thank and sponsors for tonight's event at Talladega International Speedway?
Well, I got friends and co in the car, and I got my girlfriend watching, and my friend Derek Kite watching, and my grandparents watching, so got a little crowd watching me, so trying to bring it home for them. Couldn't do it.
Not a bad day for Nathan Little, who started tonight's Talladega race on the pole, finishing second. Awesome day for Nathan Little once again. Now bringing it up towards the booth, Justin Rose now standing by the Gatorade Victory Lane Circle with Landon Huffman, your race leader and the points leader. Justin?
Race fans, what a finish here at the Talladega Super Speedway. I'm standing here in Gatorade Victory Lane. The driver from Claremont, North Carolina, Landon Huffman. What a move that was on the last lap there, doing everything you can, and you got ran down below the yellow line by John Hanna Jr. Tell us about that move and just how hard it was to get by John Hanna for the win.
Well, first, thanks to Nathan and Chris Schollenberger. He pushed me there. And those winding laps there, probably 3 to go or so, and we had to switch, coming to, I think it was right after we took the 2 to go, and I just pushed him as much as I could, and then looked like there on the back stretch, Hanna tried to put a block on him, and he went to the outside, and as soon as he went to the outside, I just stayed in it, and Nathan was pushing me as hard as he could, and I had a really good run on John, and I was expecting him to come down, but it's like he kind of came down a little too late there, and allowed me to get up beside him, and he ran me down the yellow line, but thankfully he let me back up on there. I kind of forced my way back up, but he was good enough to give me some room there and allow me to get back up on the surface. And I thought Nathan was going to be able to get me there, but I was just Mirror driving at its best, I guess you could say. But it was a blast. These last 2 weeks have been probably the most fun. This series, the best racing this series has seen, all season. So that's just hats off to the guys that are in the league, and it's improved a lot, and the guys have gotten a lot better, throughout the season. And the admins, we may not always agree with their calls, but they got tough jobs. So they're doing what they can, and thanks to ETV, because y'all put on a heck of a show each week.
I want to say I've been watching the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series for quite some time. I gotta say, Landon, it's been an absolute pleasure to watch you put on a show. But Talladega Super Speedway, man, it's a show like no other, and it's got to be a white knuckle ride. I mean, were you at least sweating out there for the last about 10, 15 laps or so?
Oh, it's such a toss-up when you come here, and you're just trying to put yourself in position, to have a shot there the last lap. The whole race, you're, shuffling and moving around, trying to, find out who works best with you, and, just figure out, where you want to be, coming off of 4, coming to the checkers. But, yeah, it was a blast, and I got to thank Sim Seats for sponsoring my sim cars and my real race car, my late model, and got to thank Huffman Racing. It's awesome to be able to run this series with a group of guys like that, and gotta give Chad Schilling a shout out. He's out there watching. He wasn't able to make it this week. He's out of town, but looking forward to having him back next weekend.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, your winner here in Gatorade Victory Lane here at the Talladega Super Speedway, Landon Huffman. He gets it done with a late race pass on John Hanna Jr. on the super stretch going into turn 3. And Mike Keaton, that was some finish there. And we've seen this building for about 15 laps or so, man. That was one heck of a finish.
It was, and congratulations to Landon Huffman putting win number 8 on the board and strengthening the gap between him and Chad Cole, Guy Snyder, John Abbott, and R.J. Williams that rounds out the top 5. Next week, Charlotte, under the lights. Going to be exciting. Chase race number 5. Don't count out Chad Cole, Guy Snyder, John and R.J. Williams, and possibly Joseph Hayes out of the championship battle just yet. Landon Huffman could have a string of bad luck, hit the next 5 races. Who knows? But next week, if you're here to tune in live at etv-eplay.net to see if Huffman can control the points lead and to win that Bob Earl Racing seat at bobearlracing.com. Until then, so long and goodbye, race fans.
Thank you.